Thanks, Ron, and hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you so much for taking time to join us today as we're talking cloud. My name is Jimmy Taylor, and I am the SE manager of for the Southeast region here at Extreme Networks. And today we're going to talk about cloud managed networks, a simplified, distributed, scalable networking for the infinite enterprise. So let's go ahead and get to it. So a little bit about us here at Extreme Networks. We were founded in 1990. We have over $1 billion in annual revenue, got over 1,000 patents to our name. And one of the things that we're very, very proud of here is that 100% of our support is all in-house. So anytime you got to throw the bat signal up in the sky, you need help, you're always going to talk to somebody from Extreme Networks. We also have some very compelling partnerships here. We are the official Wi-Fi solutions provider of the NFL, as well as Major League Baseball. And then a couple of sports that are pretty near and dear to my heart, NASCAR. We're also the official Wi-Fi provider for NASCAR. And we also picked up the NHL. And of course, this is playoff time for you hockey guys out there. So it's a great time of the year. And I'm thrilled also that we get to partner with our friends over at the National Hockey League. So Extreme's story has definitely been one of growth through acquisitions, right? In 2013, we acquired Enterasys, and then in 2017, to build out our wired platform, we acquired the fabric networking technology from Avaya. And as Extreme was gathering all of these pieces together, there was really a big shift towards trying to simplify management throughout a portfolio, because a lot of times when you're dealing with different products, it tends to be very siloed. And that's where cloud network managing really started to emerge within the industry. It can mean a lot of different things to be a cloud managed network platform. You know, hey, maybe you just have an application, you throw it on a server, you stick it up in the internet and you call it cloud, right? Or, you know, how much redundancy do you build into it? Or how much do you bake it into your architecture? And one of the things that Extreme found out is that building a cloud infrastructure is very, very, very challenging. It seems like it's a simple concept, but it, you know, in a ways, it's a lot of, you know, it's all things to all people, right? So in 2019, Extreme acquired Aerohive, which is how I came to join the team at Extreme. I was actually an Aerohive employee too. And we acquired our best of breed cloud network management solution. And then that's when things really started to fall into place to where we got our vision for the infinite enterprise. Because not only do we have a cloud managed access points, we have our fabric networking technology, as well as our Exos operating system from Enterasys. But now you've got visibility into all those pieces to where you can start to bring them together. And one other piece I'll note here too is we also recently acquired Ipanema for our SD-WAN portfolio. So we're starting to get that total start to finish portfolio there. So what exactly is Extreme's vision for the enterprise? One of the things we do like to say, and you'll hear me say often, is that we are infinitely distributed. And if you stop and think about it, today's day as to how users and employees expect to access data, it's ubiquitous no matter where you go. Like I actually have two phones with me right here that I carry everywhere around. And I'm expected to, and I also expect myself to be connected wherever I go and have a seamless experience to whether I'm in the four walls of Extreme, I'm at my home office, or like today, I'm out here on the road visiting customers. We always expect our devices to work everywhere with a seamless experience. And, you know, even for college campuses, that can be a very daunting task, but also too for global companies. How do you manage all of these pieces and provide all these services to where the user at the other end of the line has no idea what's going into it, to where it's just available, you know, at the drop of a hat? And part of that goes into our DNA would be being consumer centric, is that understanding that, you know, managing networks of this scale can be a very challenging task. So one of the big advantages of having a cloud managed solution is that we can offload some of that by managing the cloud platform for you to where it's just available for you anytime, anywhere. And that opens up a big world, because, you know, back when I first started networking, you know, if something went wrong, I'm headed into the office at 3 o'clock in the morning, or, you know, hopefully at least I've got some sort of VPN service, you know, to get in. And nowadays people don't associate connectivity like that at all. And then the last piece is scale. Of course, you know, once you have a service up and people start taking advantage of it, they expect it to work everywhere that they go. Now, with that, obviously that's going to introduce a number of challenges, right? The biggest one that we're all going through would be support for hybrid work environments. Again, folks are, we're working more, we're more productive. It's not just coming into the office. If something pops up, later on in the evening, or you need to put a late day, a lot of people, are wanting to work from home, just because of the demands of the job, right? And then also too, even have, things like staffing shortages, right? To where, maybe you need your people to be flexible to where you can hire them wherever they're coming from versus, the traditional model where you were expected to move, right? And then the ongoing enablement of that business transformation is that as workers are expecting to have these types of, this type of flexibility, how do you get that in real time with when it seems like everybody's budget is shrinking more and more, right? So, and for us, that answer would be is having a cloud managed solution that we manage anything from anywhere. End-to-end granular visibility is also just as important. And then one of the big benefits too that you get with a cloud managed solution is unified and secure AI ops, to where, instead of trying to, develop systems and mine your databases and have all the resources in-house, offload that onto the cloud where it can scale infinitely, horizontally and vertically, right? And then the system is just able to give you meaningful data to help make you more productive, and then also your job a little easier. So we also like to refer to the infinite enterprise model here as one network, one cloud, one extreme. And by one network, we're talking about exactly that, meaning all of the various pieces across your portfolio. So, from wired switches to wireless access points, also SD-WAN, and then, in our case too, fabric networking. We're trying to give you a unified approach across all of these things versus looking at them as individually managed and maintained technologies. And then we're tying that together into one cloud solution, right? So that way you have a single source of truth that you're going to. So we also, speaking of hybrid options too, we do have some hybrid management options too, but it still ties into Extreme Cloud IQ, right? So we have our Extreme Cloud IQ site engine, which allows you to manage even third-party devices. You can manage non-extreme devices using traditional means like SNMP and SSH connectivity, et cetera. And that will actually report data up into Cloud IQ to give you visibility as well. Another thing that we have too is our it's formerly our Extreme Campus controller. Now we're calling it Extreme Cloud IQ controller. And there's some wireless environments to where they want to have the controller experience. Like maybe there's either security reasons or topology reasons to where a controller-based topology works better for you. Well, even if you're coming to the family of cloud, if there's legacy systems that you still need to support, or even if you're across your journey doing a refresh, we give you tons of options to where it's not like you're having to force a square peg into a round hole. And then out of that too, you'll get things like intuitive insights. We're able to do things, run MLAI against the data that we're pulling in. Another thing too is that you'll see here we have our Copilot, which is our MLAI option. We've just unveiled Digital Twin, which even allows you to virtually create fabric and XOS switches to where you can configure them just like it's the real thing. And our next step is that you're actually going to be able to connect them together in meaningful ways, and then push your configurations up to the virtual devices to where if you want to test configuration changes in the cloud well before any maintenance events, you can actually prove that out all in advance. So the other thing too is obviously is the security story, which is going to be a big thing. This is probably one of the biggest questions that we get as being a cloud managed solution. So I've included a QR code here on the presentation. Feel free to scan that. It'll take you to our security page and even refer to our ISO 27001, 27701, and 27017 certifications and accreditations or compliancy. And then also we have SOC 2 and CSA certified as well. Now, what that means is early on, and even in the Aerohive days, embedded into the DNA, into the architecture, was coming up with a platform that was very flexible to where we can actually deploy it across multiple cloud vendors, to where it was agnostic, and also it was very resilient. And here got a little missed, or somebody's advanced my slide deck there. But yeah, even so, we like I was saying, it was embedded early on to where we developed a platform that was designed to be very scalable, to where it's based on things like microservices and even tied into Kubernetes, to where it's healing and self-scaling. And then on top of that, we're not tied to one specific vendor. So even if one of our customers has a reason why they would like for their data to be managed and maintained in one cloud provider over the other, we offer that flexibility. But then on top of that, we also incorporate the ISO certifications into our story as well, to where a lot of times, if folks will report ISO certification, like if they're in a colo that's ISO certified, but not necessarily be certified and accredited themselves. Whereas that's been baked in early on into our DNA. So feel free to scan the QR code if you'd like to get some more information there. Now, another thing too that we like to also address too is that having a cloud-based managed network solution is good, but there's still a lot of real-world implications, right? Especially when it comes to as a manager and then working with other managers with our customers, there's always a need to simplify and unify the way that things are managed, and also it needs to be secure, right? A lot of times, especially too, like we do business in a lot of school systems, right? And school systems tend to have very limited resources. They may even have somebody that's in charge of networking that didn't start their career as a network engineer. They sort of got designated, hey, you're going to be our wireless guy, right? So imagine walking into something like that and then having something to where you've got thousands or tens of thousands of students, branched out across multiple sites. In order to have a cloud-based solution work, it's very important that it not only be intuitive and secure, but also it's very scalable. And then also too, we want a comprehensive end user experience for observability analytics, are critical for optimizing our digital infrastructure operations. So in other words, we want the system to give us a meaningful data back, right? To where the system is able to tell you if you're looking into a problem that it's, that it narrows down your scope, because especially too, as staff start to shrink, it's very important that they're focused on the right data at the right time. And then also we want our strategic vendors to take more of a day-to-day administrative and operational responsibility for infrastructure, so internal staff can focus on more business as well. So these are all things that are, over 75% of the respondents to this poll said that were very, very important. And these are all things that our cloud-based management solution has baked into its DNA. So now we're going to talk a little bit here about some of the challenges, right? Is again, just because you have something in the cloud, well, what does that really mean, right? Because even in IT in general, simplicity is a big thing. And as I'm sure a lot of you have been through, I've been through it in my previous career too, like licensing can be very complicated. And then on top of that, when you put in an order, how future-proof is it, right? And how many, is it going to help me to streamline my operations and help to make me more efficient? And then when it comes to the cloud, again, number one question is how secure are you, right? And then how much redundancy is built in? What's the footprint? And then also how flexible, is your solution? And then on top of that, also bringing in real world on-site concerns like, being able to manage third-party devices and capabilities. And then also, does it have complicated provisioning and segmentation requirements, which again, I was speaking to earlier, those are all things that Cloud IQ does very well and tackles head on, right? So instead of coming with some of the concerns over cloud infrastructure, we're going to help you to make more efficient. We're going to help you to mitigate that risk and also give your administrators and admins a much better experience. So again, this all speaks to our Cloud IQ being able to manage your entire infrastructure. So whether it's the fabric that connects everything together, your edge switches, or your access points, or even SD-WAN, that we're providing that one central piece that's able to bring the story together. So another thing too that's very important is cloud infrastructure and compliance, and we spoke to that earlier, data governance and comprehensiveness, and then also workstream and user interface. And I'm going to try to speed things along here a little bit. Another piece that we have,
hey, Jimmy,
you have a mobile.
Jimmy,
yes, sir.
We've only got about 3 or 4 minutes left.
Yep. So
I want to make sure you have enough time, and I'd suggest you focus just on the case studies. So if someone is not an Extreme customer, how can they deploy this? What are some of the features? How easy
Understood.
can you? Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and zip forward. Okay, so the case studies that I have for you today, and also I'm going to have a couple of QR codes for you because we're going to go pretty quick. Feel free to have your phones ready. With the QR code, you'll be able to link to all of our published case studies as well as to request a demo. Sumerian Health, and obviously in a health environment, security, scalability, reliability, these are all very important, right? So to them, what was very important is a network infrastructure that could support an influx of connected devices. And then obviously with the pandemic, that created a fresh demand for even telehealth services that needed dedicated support. And again, security and HIPAA was the primary requirement. And for them, our switching wireless and Extreme Cloud IQ, sort of the triple play, was able to meet all of their needs to deal with all of this change. In other words, we help to put the tools of efficiency in their hand to meet the changing needs and habits of their customers, to where they got a single pane of glass visibility into the network. Transformation of their main campus accommodates evolving business needs. And then also their new switches were able to support fast transfer of large imaging files, and then a consistent and reliable wireless experience connectivity at remote locations, which obviously, when it comes to wireless being a bit of a Pandora's box and supporting it remotely, we were able to make it easier for them and also to make it scalable. Another one that we had was Lincoln University, to where, again, stable and scalable infrastructure. There's definitely a theme here, a wide ranging of coverage for a mass amount of devices. You can imagine, with school systems, the number of clients that they have. That's actually a customer that a type of customer we do very well. And as a matter of fact, I'm on the road meeting with another university for precisely that reason. Right. So for them, going with our wireless and Extreme Cloud IQ and significantly improved their wireless performance so their users have a great experience. Delivering Wi-Fi 6 and AX technology as being an early adopter, provide for more stable video experiences. And then the big one here, increase visibility into its infrastructure, devices, and users and traffic. So it helped them to make intelligent decisions about what was happening within their environment much smoother, right? And keep in mind, too, again, with a lot of EDU, and especially like K through 12 environments, those resources to help with those types of things tend to be, you're getting smaller and smaller teams, and also with varying levels of expertise. Like, sometimes they have to wear multiple hats, to where your networking guy is also the server guy. So anything you can do to help them out also helps you to be more productive and meet your customers' requirements. And then also too, at Baylor University, this is more of a story too of how we helped out within their stadium to design a high density wireless network, which again, whether you're in corporate or in entertainment is a very big thing, because especially when you're hosting folks, they expect that resource to work. They don't care how many people are in the room, they want their device to work, right? So for us, it was, between wireless switching, analytics, and control, we were able to give them not only the great user experience, but also the other theme here is the insight into how their network is performing. So here's the QR code for our case study. So feel free to take a shot, and it'll take you to our website if you'd like to review. We also got a lot of videos and customer testimonials if you'd like to hear some more information. And then lastly, please contact us today for a demo. We'd be very excited to come out and meet with you and show you how you can use this technology and tools to help meet the emerging needs for not only your users, but also your internal customers as well. So thanks again for the time. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys stay safe. Bye-bye.